are live. Let's see here. Let's show the screen here. All right, everyone. Your host, Cy Smith here. I'm going to be running the National Summit. And I say national is really a global summit, but our African leaders are learning what we do and how well we should be doing it so that they then will be able to coordinate with us on a global scale. But right now, it's about what we do here in the United States of America. So what I'm going to do here right now, um, while we're talking, I'm going to put the agenda and send the email of the agenda out to our key partners because they need to know what we're on right now. Okay, excuse all of that movement. This is the fourth Saturday of the month. Every fourth Saturday of the month, we focus on last names that begin with the alphabets S, T, and U. S, T's, and U's have it today. After today, and after the end of this month, we won't bug the Smith, Sanders, Tolliston, Taylors. We won't bug them again until May. So that's the benefit of this last name solution is we know we're not burning people out. This is a long, it goes quick, so many topics to cover in such a short amount of time. So it does go back quick. Uh, Before I get into it, information is superior. It is ever changing. The minute you get information, it could be outdated. So I want to make sure that people know that that's a big part of why we got to keep these structures going. And just like what we're doing now, even if no one gets on, we have to do this because we gather information constantly. We process information all the time. We manage information. We store information. We use information. We share information. So these are the things that is happening every second, all the time. So that anytime we get a chance to take a time out, have a conversation, give you guys an update on what we did for the whole 30 days since last month, it's very important. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew why this matters. We're getting information, we're sharing it, we're fellowshipping, we're training, we're doing orientation to train new people. We have quite a few new people that we just met. So getting them this document is going to help them to better understand what we're doing and why we do it. So that's just kind of why we exist. National Block Club University just had its 31st year anniversary. November 20th, 1994 is when we started. So that was 31 years ago, 372 months. So kudos to everyone who's been with us along the way. That takes a lot to be around to exist that long. We did this without government support. We did this with our people financing our movement, and because we think that's crucial. So it's 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It's about 5 or 7 minutes for each subject. We're going to cover everything from good news to Mississippi or rural town report. We're going to go through violence, our young people. We'll go through economics, construction. We're going to go through health. We're going to go through legal. So a lot of subjects to go through in a short amount of time. We're also going to take breaks. So during the breaks, you guys can go and, take care of any business that you need to take care of. It's only going to be 3 to 5 minutes. And you're going to be able to learn a lot from this session here. So let's take our first break. It's 3:05. We're going to come back before 3:10. That's when we go get into the good news. Thank you. All right, we are back. We are back. We are back. All right, thank you guys for hanging in there with us. We're at the 309 mark. So, as I stated when I said when I get back, we're going to go over the good news. So, right off the bat, the biggest good news for the organization and what we've been able to see the last month is that people are donating. Out of 22 days, we've only had 4 days, and 2 of those 4 days were Sundays that no money came into the organization. This is spiritually a great thing because we need to see the certain vibrations happening that, 7 days out the week, people are giving because we're on their mind. They're thinking about how to help us grow, and they're doing it. It's more structure to that because it's mainly our Office of $1 Affairs that's having this impact. But of course, our big donors, our $12 donors, $100 loaners, $250 loaners, you guys are also a big part of that. So thank y'all. The key is those the $1,001 people, and I'm gonna talk about that throughout this summit. So that's the good news. The other good news I would say is that we have sort of like a staff in the works that's coming on board. It's allowing me to make sure that I can structure things to offload it. So that way it's not dependent on one person. Now we have other people who we can relatively count on to execute. And that's been one of the big reasons why I haven't offloaded a lot of stuff is because what we do, the number one asset that we have is the trust of the people. So I can't trust giving something to someone and they don't follow through because that kills our very credibility that we need with our people in the communities all over the world. So now that funding is appear to be going to be consistent, now we can start onboarding people who have a little bit more to lose in the event of dropping the ball, if you will. So that's the good news. The second part that I want to talk about is Mississippi. That's always good news for us. Mississippi is the blackest state in America. This is important because out of all the people in this country, there's not one state 40% black. There are 7 states 90% white. So to not have one state 40% black, that's not even half black, is it shows something. We've been here, we're part of the founding people in this country, and we don't have no sanctuary. So when we say Mississippi is important, because we feel like that's going to be the sanctuary for black people in this country. It's also the poorest state in the union, meaning your dollar goes the furthest there. We have great relationships throughout the state. We just had a superstar from Leland, Mississippi. And Leland, Mississippi, to us, is the headquarters for 12th grade university for the whole state to us. And as we work with our people that's on the ground there, if they bless it, then we'll be able to see that new economy come to Leland for all 12th graders, summer, spring, fall, winter Olympics for the 12th graders. And of course, Kansas City, Missouri is linked to all the 12th grade teachers. Then Chicago 60617 is the headquarters. So together, all those linkages will add value to Leland. And they donated some money to us this month. So that's super good news coming out of Mississippi. The fact that they poured into us when our goal is to pour into them. For those who may have never heard this, all 18-year-olds in America are asked to commit 1 year to Mississippi. You said it again, all 18-year-olds in this country are asked to commit until they're 19 years old to the state of Mississippi to help raise money. What is the money going to be used for? The main thing is travel. We need to finance the people of Mississippi being able to travel to the Gary conventions or the Chicago summit. All right. Ideally, we'll be at Jerome's place on Chicago Avenue and Larrabee. November, we're on tour in that zip code over there. So that's where we should be today. Because of funding, we're not, I'm doing it out the basement here. But as we get the funding coming in, we'll be able to really be wherever we're on tour at and really host those summits and have people come out. And the people who should be coming out is last names S, T, and U today. You guys holding it down for this whole month. And so that's the good news. Let me give you some background on Mississippi, what's been happening. Unfortunately, last month, you heard us talk about the homecoming killings. That's right, homecoming. We had 3 different towns experience the murder and the shooting at a homecoming celebration. Totally unacceptable. We're going to talk about violence at the 320 time zone time frame. But the violence in Mississippi to me is ugly because that's where we are the strongest. And if that's how we behave in our strongest area, then we can only imagine what happens where we're not as strong at. So that was particularly disturbing. From that tragedy, we was able to meet someone in Leland, Mississippi. Shout out to Maurice, brother Maurice, the one who connected us with a family member there in Leland. You guys hear me say this all the time. Everybody knows somebody somewhere. So just when we communicate, it allows us to say, oh man, my auntie, my cousin, my nephew, that's what needs to happen. Because when you refer that person to us or vice versa, it comes with some credibility to it. And so it makes it easier for that family member, friend, a coworker to receive us when they know it's coming from you. So just know that that's going to save us a lot of gas, money, time when you can just pick up the phone and dial in and have someone meet us. All right. Nickels. So let's talk about nickels. Nickels is how the 18-year-olds will support Africa. It's called Nickels to Mississippi, just like it's pennies to Africa, it's nickels to Mississippi. I'm going to talk about them getting rid of the penny. So we will have that conversation. You guys don't fret. We're going to get to that. All right. So that's it for the Rural Report. Bucksport, South Carolina is a big part of what we do. White Plains, White Hill, Alabama is important. Ocala, Florida is important. These are rural towns in the South that's going to help us administratively make sure that the 46 million of us are moving in a coordinated fashion. And so that's a really big part of what we want to do in the rural towns. And these are majority Black towns, except Ocala. All right, so now let's switch over to safety. Happening right now, 8 people shot, 7 teenagers, 1 died, downtown Chicago, right across the street from the news station. Totally unacceptable. We had the mother beaten by youngsters under 8th grade and under. That put Chicago on a bad light. People all around the world was talking about it. And then to have this mass shooting downtown, right across from the news station, it continues to illustrate that whatever we're doing is not enough. That's what it says. You guys heard me say this, but to our new people who may not have heard me say this, the solution for violence, Black violence, because you got to separate the different types of violence. Black on Black violence is what we are very good at and focus on. It's HSN. That stands for habits, schedule, and network. HSN. That's what's going to allow us to stop killing each other. Habits, schedule, network. So throughout this summit, you're going to hear me talk about the 7 daily living habits. That allows us to make sure that we are getting coordinated without no one meeting or big meeting, that we just know what the agenda is and we execute on that agenda. Schedule, how you use your time. This is a big deal. A lot of our young people that's out there doing wild things, their schedule, their time involves sitting in contamination. All right, sitting, marinating in contamination. And then we act surprised when they go out and illustrate that contamination. So schedule is how do we schedule and pay for people to get out of their contamination, to get away, to travel, to meet, see, and do new things. That's a big part of it. We can't treat the crack addict in the crack house and expect him or her not to go back on crack. That's what we're doing all over this country. We're doing things to try to stop young people from doing wild stuff while in that environment. Not a winning formula. Then the last one is network. In your phone, who's programmed in your phone? Can you pick up the phone and call in airplane pilots? Can you pick up the phone and call in military people? Can you pick up the phone and call in doctors, lawyers? Unfortunately, in our community, our phone lists people that's in bad shape, people who are possibly traumatized. And so if that's what your network is about, it limits your options. What the beauty of what we do is because we're out there every day meeting new people, we're meeting people in your own neighborhood and they're positive If they're not positive, we wouldn't link you with them until we can get them on some positivity stuff. And then we connecting you. So that way you got more positive people in your phone that will add value when they hear need. So that's kind of what we believe is going to allow us to deal with. And I'm going to read to you some of these occurrences here. All right. Double shooting, 2 men shot fighting in Chicago's North Lawndale, 60623 zip code, 15th and Ridgeway, like 2 in the morning. Miami teenager shot to death on the southwest side on Southwest 191st. Chicago teen shot to death 13th and Crenshaw. That's in the Obla Home area there, the village. So far, 359 murders have already taken place in Chicago. That's since Halloween, up until Halloween. We had 2 males shot, 1 died on 4400 block of West Augustus. That's the west side of Chicago. DC, teen girl shot in the stomach on U-Man Street. Then we had DC, 12 people shot over the weekend. We had the boy shot in the apartment complex on Savannah Terrace on the southeast side. St. Louis man shot to death in his car on Erie Street. And we've had in Memphis, man shot by a female on the east side. She stayed on the scene, 3700 block on Barron Road. Miami anti-violence guy was shot to death. He was shot. Yeah, he was killed, shot to death on Winning and Juan Turkey Lane. Mississippi and Heidelberg, we talked about that double homicide already. Leland. So that's the update from a violence standpoint, coast to coast. LA, you're starting to see, because blacks are leaving Los Angeles, you're starting to see less of our violence in Los Angeles, but that's because blacks are leaving. They're going more to Nevada, to Vegas, things of that nature. So we got to treat the problem. We can't just move it away. Moving it is temporary fix. All right. So I told you what the solution is to us: habits, schedule, network. That's what we have to do. And we have to do it block by block in order to really have impact that we want to see happen from that violence standpoint. Let me read to you in the past what we talked about. So we said the violence numbers are down last month, October 25th. Violence numbers are down, but the key is just because it's down doesn't mean we're safer. It means the manifestation is not there, so that way they don't record it. But the reality is, in our community, we're still dealing with hopeless spirits. We're still dealing with people who are committing atrocities to our community, to our people. Last month, we was talking about the National Guard coming to Chicago. They went to Memphis instead. They're already in D.C. They was in L.A. And unfortunately, we didn't get, to measure if they would have had an impact here, because it doesn't look like they're going to come to Chicago. But clearly, I think you don't knock something per se until you try it. And I was just really surprised at how many people don't even want to give it a try. I'm a military man, so I don't think that you would have troops out there conducting their business directly on the citizens. My personal belief is that, and I could be wrong, is that you let the police be freed up from things that they're doing that the non-police trained personnel can do. Stand and watch, things of that nature, dealing with low interaction types of crimes or investigations. But the things dealing with our people should always be dealt with people from the community, which that doesn't happen like it should, or people who at least are accountable to the community. Shit is doing that. We should never, we don't get it when we help. So in September, we talked about it being 91 days before January 1st, 2026. So it's definitely 40 days now before next January 1st. Let me say why this matters. For those who, again, haven't heard me speak, every year we have till June 30th to be able to tell if we're going to be able to stop the violence, black violence or not. Here's where that's coming from, who haven't heard me speak. There's 4 seasons, of course. We know that, we get that. And the seasons matter in terms of how people's mood is, how they use their time. So, of course, during daylight savings, people are out more. During the summer months, spring months, they're out more. People are in hibernation when it gets dark early. When it's cold outside, they hibernate. And over the months, that hibernation builds to where people can't wait to pop outside. So when we're talking about how we're going to increase the habit schedule network on our blocks to change and stop this killing out here, it matters between the January 1st and June 30th time period, because that's when we can really gain the people's attention to train them on what needs to happen, to get them to pull their money together to finance what needs to happen, and then to run the test by 4th of July weekend, the most dangerous weekend out the year for Black America, to run the test and see if it worked. If you stop the violence, so-called stop the violence, anytime after the 4th of July weekend, you got to wait till the next year to see if you're really effective, because that's the biggest test. It's like the Super Bowl. If you win a playoff game, good, but you didn't win the big one. You got to win the Super Bowl. So 4th of July weekend is the Super Bowl when it comes to violence. So whatever you do after the 4th of July, you got to wait and see if it sustains, and then the real test will be the 4th of July weekend. That's based on my years of research and being in the game. And so if we don't get 1,000 people donating their $1 in at least Chicago, we not ready. And last June 30th this year, when we didn't hit the numbers, I knew we weren't ready. So all the killing and shooting happening after June 30th this year, to me, I saw it because we didn't have enough people, 1,000 people to be in particular, who can agree, who can put aside all the thoughts, feelings, all the stuff that people have and say, I'm going to pool this money together. And later on, I get into more details on how that dollar translates to safer neighborhoods. In August, we talked about the same thing. I was touching on the time frame before the deadline, because August we're in the dog days of the summer. People are frustrated and things of that nature. But you also have less people attention. They're going to weddings, family reunions, back to school events. So you only had that small window to get people from Memorial Day weekend to the 4th of July weekend. After that, you ain't getting people attention after that. Okay, switch over to missing persons. So every January we host a missing persons summit. Everything else is called the convention except the homeless summit, which is in November, and the missing persons summit instead of a convention. But they do the same thing. They bring people together around this one subject, which is missing persons. The FBI stated that Black people, Black women in particular, are the most missing out of this country, in this country. That says something. And when we talk about our missing persons, it's important that the government responds because that's their responsibility. But for Black people, what is our response? How do we deal with the fact that we have so many of our people coming up missing? What is our strategy? What is our plan? But for us, National Block University, it's always block by block. Just know that. Talk about what we go do. We go block by block, do the inventory. We're going to block by block identify the vacant buildings. We're going to report vehicles that we can't see on the inside, trucks with tinted windows or no windows at all. So we had those license plates and where you saw the vehicle at. We're going to make certain that our young people on the block know who they can kind of count on and trust in each of our blocks, each of our zip codes. But we say blocks because zip code is too broad. What do I mean by that? If on every block we identify who's who and who's doing what, that can allow our young people to know who they can count on and who they can't count on. Who's going to be at the village meeting? Who's going to be at the convention? So that way we build the relationships. Back in the day, we lived, we worked, and we worshiped in the neighborhood. That made it less likely for outsiders to come in and get away with doing stuff. So this concept that we're doing is taking us back to that where we know each other again. And we think that's going to allow us to create a different atmosphere when it comes to abducting, kidnapping, or doing something to our people. Vacant buildings is a part of that. We have our landlord convention. The landlords convention is every May, I believe. Yep, every May. It's May 9th for next year. During the landlords convention, part of that conversation is if you have distressed properties, making sure that they're boarded up, making sure that the people who we have in charge of the zip code or the blocks have your contact information, and that we just coordinate together to make sure that there's no open hazards where a person can be dumped in if some tragedy strikes. All right, so that's kind of where we are with the vacant building concept, the vehicles we can't see on the inside, and then missing persons. So we at the 3:30 mark. What we went over was Mississippi, the good news, violence. Let me do the last piece with our young people. You heard me talk about the 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. We're asking them to help us with their sister city. So all 19-year-olds will help us collect dimes for your sister city. That way, your sister city has the money to travel to Chicago for the summit or Gary for the convention. 19-year-olds all over America. That's what we're asking you to do. 20-year-olds, we're asking you to help us with pennies to Africa. Unlike any other group in this country, Black people, we still have our slave master's name, last name. We're the only group that's still not connected to something, home base, if you will. So from that standpoint, what we want to make sure that we're pushing and promoting to our young people is the continent. Well, civilization started, all civilization, but every zip code is linked to a different part of Africa, so we can cover the search, if you will, from all over the continent. And the pennies, $1 is $400 in Nigerian money. So 100 pennies make a difference, has an impact. So we want to just get our people here in the country through our youngsters to respect that loose change you might see on the ground, penny, nickel, dimes, quarters, and know how it can help us. To the younger people under 18, 21-year-olds do quarters for they zip code. So quarters for your zip code, dimes for your sister city, nickels for Mississippi, and pennies to Africa. The other young people, we're going to get more into it when we get to the education section. The other young people, please know this. Every single young person in our zip codes, we want you to be able to introduce yourself with your career aspiration and know what that career is linked to in the continent of Africa. So if you tell me you want to be a nurse, we're going to tell you remember South Africa because all nurses are linked to South Africa. You tell me you want to be an engineer or IT person, we're going to talk about Sudan because Sudan is linked to all engineers and tech people. You tell me you want to be a teacher, we're going to talk to you about Tanzania because they're linked. Here's why that matters to young people. You want to build your confidence through repetition. When you're repeating yourself, what you aspire to become, and then you can educate that person listening on the continent or the country and the continent that you is anchoring that profession. That's going to impress them, and that's going to have them want to invest in you even more so. All right, so we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we're going to come back and switch gears to economics. We're going to talk about construction as well. Thank you. All right, everyone. We are back from that break. Let's talk about economics. So we always start with where we are money wise, financially, so you guys can just see how we're doing, our financial health. So I'm gonna zoom in on a few things here, just so you guys can see. We're going to go with the donations. So every January is my birthday month. So my wife sends out something. You guys just miraculously donate. And it's always the highest amount for the whole year. So as you can see, $935 came in the month of January, 129 in February, 256 March, 81 in April. So that is one of the worst months. April, May, 159, June, 104, July, 778, which is one person gave 300. So it's really 478 if you look at it from that standpoint. August 80, that was the worst month. 302 in September. October and November. October, $114. This month already 180 something, I believe. So we're already doing better than October. Next to that, you see the $1 donation. So as you can see, $25, then $32, $42, 32. So it's fluctuating between $30 and $40 and $1 donors. So I thank you guys for that. As you can see, September we had $54 come in, which is a big deal. And it's going to be even higher now when I show you the next slide. Every month, it costs us $700 minimum just to operate. 700 is the minimum. That's paying for things like the Zoom, paying for the website, paying for the marketing, paying for what we do in Africa, making sure that we are just maintaining who we are. So that's normally what it is. You see some of these, you see 1,200 one month, 1,100. So we do give away more money when we have more money, but the bottom line is just to keep basics going, $700 a month. Next, you see my name. That's just how much money come out of the household that month to keep operations going. Typically, $700 a month come out the household. So you're talking, 8,400 a year. So that's the financials. We are doing better than we did last year. So that's the good part. We're doing better than we were at the same time last year. Now, what I'm really, really excited about is the $1 campaign and how well we're getting our process in place. The Office of $1 Affairs is really an office. What do the office do? They have structure, organization, processes, and of course, a staff, people. And so that's what the Office of $1 Affairs affords us to do. So I'm gonna zoom in here so you guys can really see this. All right. So this week, which was Sunday, November 16th, we had a total of 39 people up until the 16th of this month donated they $1 or more. Because we got people who do $10 instead of $1, but it counts as $1 from the 1,000 people standpoint. It adds up when you do our total numbers for the month. So now we had one person donate the next day, November 17th. Two people donate on the third day of this week, which is the 18th. Three more people donate on the 19th. And then we had three more donate on the 20th. And then one person donated yesterday to get us to 951. So a total of 49 people have donated to us. Then underneath that, you see the week before that. So 982, no one donated those 2 days. Then 969, meaning 31 people donated, and 33 people, as you can see here. So this isn't going nowhere. We're gonna continue to publish how we're doing in our quest to get 1,000 people to donate $1. In red at the top here, it says 50 people per zip code, and was 20 zip codes in Chicago. That's our 1,000. So I just want y'all to know, it might seem like, man, only 2 people a day, 3 people a day. Easily, once we make you guys comfortable, we can get 50 people in each zip code in one day. We can get it in 1 hour if the right preparation is done. So I just wanted to make sure that people didn't walk away feeling like this is some far-fetched dream that we can't achieve. Yes, we can. It is very achievable that we get to this 1,000 people. Now I want to show you what happens when we do get to 1,000 people. And the number one thing is I'm heading up to Milwaukee. As soon as we get to 1,000, the first trip is to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'm gonna go through why that is a big deal to us. Let me upload that slide. Let me come out of the screen share for 1 minute, you guys. I'm gonna keep talking though. Need to see where this document went because it's not in my phone like it should be. So give me 1 second. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep talking while I'm looking for this picture. I'm heading to Milwaukee. And the reason I'm heading to Milwaukee is because it is so crucial that we get the relationships established so people can come into Gary, Chicago and spend money and meet their people, things of that nature. So I just want to reiterate why that's such a big deal. Okay, I found it here. And let's see why it didn't show up. It's for you guys to post. But the minute Black Chicago, 1,000 of us do the dollar, I'm heading to Milwaukee. And I'm going up to Milwaukee because it's so close to Chicago. It's a $29 train Amtrak ride up there. It's 83 miles away from Chi-Town. I'm heading to Milwaukee so we can win over 1,000 people in Milwaukee to donate $1, just like Chicago and Gary would have done before I even go to Milwaukee. I'm not going to Milwaukee telling them to do something we haven't done ourselves. So on the economic side, we have to be able to agree to something as small as 4 quarters, $1. If we can't agree on that, what will we agree on collectively as a people? So to me, this $1 is a litmus test to see if we're ready for what a lot of the things you hear us talking about. So here, go to Milwaukee. The goal is 1,000 people. Our staff people for this Office of $1 Affairs, they're gonna earn $800 out of those $1,000. 80% of the funding is going to the workers. And so we want to get to Milwaukee and hire an $800 a month person in Milwaukee to collect $1,000. And look at what's happening when they do that. $200 come back to the organization, but 800 stays in Milwaukee with one of their own, using their own money. If we don't come up there and do this, that doesn't take place. They don't put one of their people to work. So I just wanted to draw the connection. Our dollars should be used in our zip codes to put our people to work. You say that again. Our money should be used to put our people to work. Every one of our 1,000 people are going to learn about the 7 daily living habits, one of which is Wednesday, the Black Boycott Day. So imagine 1,000 Chicago people doing their dollar to the phone on block. 1,000 people in Chicago, Gary, doing their dollar, and Wednesday not giving money to people who haven't said sorry or repented for being a descendant of the savages to what they did to other human beings. That's 4,000 business transactions when you look at the 4 Wednesdays each month. So just know the $1,000 is cool, but 4,000 business transaction is even cooler. Okay. So in all this document you're looking at, it's just showing you how when 1,000 people in Chicago do it, we're going to go to Milwaukee, get 1,000 businesses up there, 1,000 people up there to do their dollar. I'm going to meet with the 50 Black businesses we have in all 20 cities. So we already know the 50 Black owners in Milwaukee. Going to ask to meet with them and share with them how, and it says it here, we want to work with them to create jobs in Milwaukee and ensure that Milwaukee young people and young adults can travel to Gary for the conventions any week of the month or to Chicago the 4th weekend of the month for the summit. This travel is going to allow them to not try to treat the crack addict in the crack house. Granted, they come into a city that is labeled more violent, but we'll have them connected with good people who's going to pour into them and invest in them. That changes it a little bit. So that's, I want y'all to see that. The 4 areas for our Black redemption deals with our solution, our future, our workhorse, and our missing link. And the missing link is the dollar. We got to convince Black people that the dollar is key. Once we get Milwaukee done, then it's on to Detroit to get their 1,000 people. Then, in Milwaukee, when they pay back the 1,000 to Chicago, then we go loan the 1,000 people to Detroit. So we can get Detroit coming to the Gary conventions or the Chicago summit. Now you're creating vibrancy because in Chicago, you got these people from out of town here that's going to motivate, invigorate you. And then we're going to see more collaboration when we see that. Same with Chicago, people coming for the summit. I just wanted to make sure people knew what this document stands for, means. At the bottom, it tells you how you can contribute. This is for everyone, blacks, whites, Mexicans, everyone. But for black people, if we don't do for self, it says something. We got white people who donate, Mexicans who donate, but if blacks won't donate, that's saying something. So I just wanted to make sure people knew that. When the 1,000 Chicago Gary people do it, we have these blue buckets that we're going to be putting into the businesses. That money we collect from the blue buckets is going directly to the non-for-profits in that zip code. We don't want the money. We want to make sure the money is spent in the zip code. So the blue buckets is coming after that. I got a bad report to make on the economic side. When we do business with black people and it doesn't go well, don't go right, what do we do? What do we do? So we had to help refund one of our leaders who had a bad experience with a cancellation situation with one of our black business owners. I spoke with the black business owner and it didn't produce what we wanted, which was a full refund since no effort, no time, no expenses were expended, and it didn't happen. They did give a small percentage of money back. So what we did, and I can't post it because it's the name of the business on here. So it's the block by block black business status structure. So any black business, you're in preferred status if enough people in the community say you're a good business. Preferred status meaning that we're going to make sure we tell people about you first. We're going to make sure that any type of support you need is going to be there. A step below the preferred business is an existing business. That's just it. You just exist. We're not getting good feedback on you, but we're not getting bad feedback on you. So now you're just there. You're a credible business. We do give out money, free money to our businesses in preferred status, and some instances existing status too. And this is when people can't name the 4 black businesses that they circulated with. They send $5 over to you. So if 1,000 people giving NBCU $1, they can't name they 4. They send $5 to you as a black business. That can be impactful. Getting $5,000 free can really help. And if the buck stops there, we won't repeat it because every business is linked to a different grade. All bricklayers are linked to 4th graders. All restaurants are linked to 3rd graders. All carpenters are linked to 3rd graders. So if you're a business and you're getting this free money, if you're not giving back to the grade that's linked to you, chances are those people not go give again to you. So it's all tied together so one hand washes the other so that we're making sure we're sharing with each other's, in this case, economics. At your own risk is the 3rd title. Is what it sounds like. We'll tell people about you, but we're going to let them know the bad situation and they use you at their own risk. That's it. You're not eligible for free money. So that's one of the consequences of being an at-risk black business. Then the last one is timeout status. We have a black business now that's in timeout, been in timeout for about 4 years. Probably going to stay there for 4 more years because in timeout, you hurt the movement. When you go to timeout, that means your customer service wasn't there. You didn't repair what the issue was. You didn't give a refund, partial refund. So you can't go into timeout status, and we just won't risk our reputation referring you to people. We just will move on. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew preferred status, existing status, at your own risk status, and then timeout status. That's all under economics. We needed something like this. Okay, now we're going to move over. Got 9 minutes here. So before I go into construction, I want to talk about the report cards, the name your 4, because that's a part of this. Now, name your 4 is going to be toward the end. So let's talk about, before we get to that, taxes. So our brother, Army veteran, superstar, Travis, he wants to see property taxes taken off of the education funding pipeline. So he feels, and I agree with him until I hear something better, that the property taxes shouldn't be the primary funder of the schools. Because, of course, if you're paying low taxes, you're telling us we will have low education opportunities. So I do think that the government should just fund education any money they get back can be sort of like some degree of being we could say reciprocal, reciprocity, reciprocal is the word I wanted to use. So I do think if the lottery is bringing in this amount of money, that can either pay back the state or that can add to the coffers, but it shouldn't be totally dependent on property taxes because that's how we get the uneven education resources that we have. Um, so yeah, I wanted to put that out there. Travis is better suited to talk to you about that. We weren't able to get him on, even though this is his month, his last name being T. But taxes, because we're being taxed on stuff we shouldn't. I mean, taxes everywhere you turn, federal, state, local, county, all these taxes, and all these taxes are stuff they didn't earn. They're taking money that they didn't earn, and we should. That's why Team 8 politics. We should definitely tell them how to spend our money because you're taking it from us. And so we need to have a seat at the table when it comes to that. All right. Construction, and then name your four. Now I'm gonna flip this around. It should be name your four, then construction. So what is name your four? Because there's 4 Wednesdays each month, we believe that if you're honoring the 7 daily living habits, that you can name 4 Black businesses that or risk takers that you circulate the money with. Not non-for-profits, but people who create jobs, risk takers. And if you can't name four, we want you to send $5 to as many that you can't name. Max number being four, so that'd be $20. $5 to four of them, that's $20. That means you in the whole month didn't have no Black business to circulate money with. So can you just blast $5 to these four? We have this list, and this list is by your zip code. So we want to make sure people blasting they $5 to four businesses stay in the zip code as much as possible. All right. Some instances we don't have that business interest in the neighborhood, might be outside the neighborhood. But the point is, can 46 million Black people agree that Wednesday is our Black boycott day, and we're not giving money to people who are unrepentant for what happened to us, and we're going to keep that money internal. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of name your four. And we actually have a document that we keep track of yours for you. And that's how we're going to put people to work as well. Construction. And we got 6 minutes before we move over to education. Governor Charles should be getting on here then. So when you blasphemy. But we're going to take a break and come back. 5 minute break, guys. All right, everyone. I am back. And we're going to get on the construction conversation before we left for break, and then we'll roll right into education. And so I'm gonna leave this document up as I talk through it. But the construction part, it is so disheartening that throughout Black America, in Black neighborhoods, that the Black people not doing the construction work. There's so much construction going on across this country. And you got people who are not even citizens of this country doing the construction work, from sidewalks to dealing with the roads, holding the signs, the flaggers. It is like blasphemy to me that we are okay with the Blacks not being a part of that, even in their own neighborhood. They shouldn't just be limited to their neighborhood. We should be able to work in any neighborhood where the work is being done. It's blasphemy to see out of state license plates on construction sites where you pay your taxes at. So when we talk about construction, we got to talk about Reverend Taylor, brother Bob Israel, our brother Omar Sharif. We got to talk about Carl Miller. We got to talk about all of our people we know is hands-on. AJ the plumber and Gary. How do we, our brother JMD Construction and Gary, how do we make sure that not only are they getting the contracts, because licensing, bonding, and all those roadblocks stand in the way, but how do we make sure that there's a fund set aside, like they've done with immigration, to help people get over the hump, to help Black people get over the hump? We owe reparations, make no mistake about it, but how do we make sure that in this construction arena that we have more than a ladder to help people lift themselves up? But we can't expect them to do it because they're benefiting when they come from their suburban towns and work in your town. When they come from their small towns, Ohio, to the big city, Chi-Town, and do work. They don't want you working. I ain't gonna get my opportunity in my small town, Ohio. If that's not the case, they gotta pay an extra tax. We gotta take away the incentive for small towns, states to be able to come into the big states and make money. That's not taking care of home base. So that's what I want to put in there. So every July, we concentrate on our carpenters. Every August, we concentrate on our mechanics. Every September, our November, our bricklayers. Then December, all of those in the conventions. So what else we want to talk about? Um, home repairs. So I get it on the tradesmen wanting to get the big contracts. We got to walk and chew gum at the same time when we talk about trades and construction. So that's the big stuff that they're doing that we just talked about. We shouldn't have non-Black people in Black neighborhoods doing work that Black people can do. That's not racist. What's racist is you being comfortable with Blacks being on the bottom, that Blacks can have other people putting gutters up in their neighborhood. There's no Black people who can do gutters in their own neighborhood. That you got Black people that's not working, and there's a reason why they're not motivated to do it on their own. But you got people doing landscaping, you got people doing remodelization. What about the locals? Do you even care about why they're not interested? I always give this analogy on the education side since we get ready to go there. If little Johnny is in a classroom of 20 people and 19 other people, even the teacher, know little Johnny is the dumbest child in there, and no child is dumb. I'm just doing that to make a point. He's the slowest child in there. So when the test is passed out, everyone knows don't do worse than little Johnny. All right, don't do worse than little Johnny because you're going to be the laughing stock. He's already expected to be the laughing stock. You better not get down there with him. Okay. So when the test is passed out, little Johnny don't even try. He flip it over and start coloring. He's distracted. He's not doing what he should be doing because the expectation and the atmosphere is set up where they know you're a failure, or they believe you're a failure, and you start to buy into that. Now, the key to that is who's the little Johnny in America? Unfortunately, it's our Black men. It's certain people don't even expect Black men to compete in certain arenas because they like, oh, they all thugging, they all hanging out, they all just trying to be gangster. And we know that's not true. Same way little Johnny, he's not slow or stupid. In this arena, the expectations that he probably contributed to now is set that he should stay where he is. And it's going to take a dynamic spirit, humble leader to hold him by the hand and build his confidence up so he can compete. But if you don't give a damn about little Johnny, you just keep it moving. That's what I say to every other ethnic group who's comfortable going in Black Gary, Black Chicago, doing work and just saying, oh, well, little Johnny don't want better. That says a lot about you. You're judged by how you treat the least of thee. So that's what I'm gonna say to everybody who thinks blacks don't want to work, black men don't want to do X, Y, and Z. It's the reason little Johnny is not motivated. And a lot has to do with the expectations around him. So enough of my preaching. Let's switch gears to education. It's 4 o'clock now. Actually 4:04. So um, just like I said previously, I believe we had to take control and not expect government to do right by us because they haven't ever done right by us. They still owe reparations and haven't paid it. So we should walk and chew gum at the same time. We play the game with their schools. We get that. But we also make certain that we do for self with our homeschooling, with our creating a village of education where everywhere you turn, knowledge is being transferred over. To us, knowledge, education is gathering is skills and it's experience, exposure. So you're gaining skills and you're learning to build your network, gaining skills. So whatever the subject matters you learn and you download and you get, that's something that can teach you or have you do a trade or a profession. That's the skills. And then networking. When you go to college, you're networking, you're meeting new people, lifelong friends you can call up and add value or get value added to you. So that's what we feel from an education standpoint. Forever be learning. So what we do here with National Black Club University is we've broken down every Tuesday is education day structurally. So we've broken down the 4 Tuesdays each month, and we got the grade lump because it's covered. First Tuesday of the month is kindergarten to third graders. Every first Tuesday of the month, K through third graders. If you look here on the screen under November awards, you see the third grade awards. Next to it, it says YT1, which is the first Tuesday of the month. All right. The second Tuesday of each month, we focus on our fourth graders to sixth graders. So fourth, fifth, and sixth graders is every second Tuesday of the month. That's them. Then you move up to the third Tuesday of the month, our seventh and eighth graders. Gets a little bit tricky dealing with those in the adolescence period, but the third Tuesday is the seventh and eighth graders. Then we move up to the toughest group, our high schoolers. So every fourth Tuesday, we focus on ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. And so for the month of November, these are the 4 grades that's getting money from you. 10th grade awards, 7th grade awards, 6th grade awards, 3rd grade awards. So if we create a okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, we still live. Good. All right. All right, good, good, good. We good to go. Looks like yeah, we good. We still live, which is good. Let me put that screen back up for you guys. All right, you guys. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I thought it was going to drop me off, but it didn't. So we're still connected. So I was going through the grades and the awards and education in general. So this slide is not relevant. We'll come back to this. I want to go to the slide that's going to be more relevant to what we're talking about, which is us self-funding our own young people. That's what we want to do. We want to fund our own young people. We want to make sure that they know that we stand with them. Uh-oh, hold on 1 second here, you guys. I'm in the basement and the Wi-Fi comes and goes down here. So let's see if I can fix this. It's not letting me fix it, you guys. Sorry. Okay. All right. All right. All right. I think that might do it. If not, just bear with me. So let's put the so what I'm about to put up is kindergarten through 12th graders, so you guys can see how when you spend your money, it's going to allow us to keep the money helping our kindergarten through 12th graders. So give me a second while I pull up that document that's going to help us know how our dollars staying with our people is going to allow us to impact education, positively impact education. I'm about to show it in 1 second, you guys. All right, here we go right here. All right, so ignore that it says Cleveland, Ohio on here. This can be Detroit, it could be Miami, it could be wherever. I want you to focus on the substance. All kindergartners all over this country, daycare providers, owners, all people in entertainment, singing, dancing, sports, painters, professional painters, fine painting, veterinarians. You guys, we're asking to put the money behind our kindergartens. All our farmers and gardeners, liquor store owners, and seamstress, money behind the first graders. All our second graders are supported through the corner stores, the firefighters, the anglers, fishing, martial arts, put the money behind the second graders. The all important third grade, where the evil ones use third grade test scores to build prisons, all beauty supply stores, all carpenters, all U.S. Marine veterans, and all restaurants put money behind that grade. So when you go and eat, you could be helping to prevent a prison from being built. Big picture. That's where that goes. All beauty salon owners, our beauticians, our bricklayers, our detectives, our police, our landscapers, our snow removal firms, fourth graders. All our nurses, all of our car wash owners, photographers, and scientists, fifth graders. All our Army veterans, clerical administrative people, nail salons, and computer IT people, sixth graders. All our seventh graders, one of the toughest grades, all our Air Force veterans, all our auto mechanics, all our engineers, entrepreneurs in general that might not be listed on here, all our gas station owners, all our journalists, that includes all our podcasters and our roofers, pour into those seventh graders, y'all. Then you have all the eighth graders, all the barbers, you got all the judges, you got all the lawyers, moving companies, logistics, all of our travel agents. I left teachers out because the teachers, based on their grade, already supporting this. Then we go over to the high schoolers, the ninth graders, all our accountants, all our chefs, all our cleaning owners, whether it's professional, residential, whether it's people that clean dry cleaners, all our landlords, all of our Navy veterans and welders, cover our freshmen. Then you got all the caterers, the cellular store owners, the Coast Guards, the doctors, the DJs, the HVAC, heating and ventilation people. You guys cover our sophomores, 10th graders. Then you got all our apparel people who have gear that they're making and selling, book authors, electricians, librarians, and politicians. Y'all cover our juniors, our 11th graders. Then we close it out with all our lounge owners, event space owners, marketers, salespersons, plumbers, massage therapists. Y'all cover them graduates on their way to college or military or owning their own business. That's the future of education, you guys. Like that's a big, big deal. And I think when done the right way, we're going to make sure that it's more than enough resources to inspire them to gain the skills and the network to be successful. With AI, there may come a time when jobs are very scarce. Black people, we built for that because they weren't giving us the jobs at a certain point anyway. And it's going to boil down to what they call now UBI, Universal Basic Income, meaning they paying you to be sitting at home. In the event that that happens, it go back to how we were in the projects, where essentially your housing was covered, your food was covered, even if you ain't like it. And what we did was we sat around and didn't have a lot going on. The way we have it structured now, everyone, whether you're getting paid or not, some of y'all are electricians, whether you got contracts or not, some of y'all are nurses, whether you working or not, whatever your skill is in these professions, with this process, if we're all not working, universal basic income is covering our basic essentials. Now we can use our skill sets and pour it into the younger generation. So we got something that we think no matter what comes economic wise, we can respond to it and be very intentional about that. Our YT1 leader, which is Yellow Tuesday, First Tuesday leader, is our superstar Jackie, 60620. Daniela is our superstar for the next Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month, 60651 zip code, Chicago. Our third Tuesday person is Evan Credit, our superstar at Roseland, 60628, who handles all 7th and 8th graders. Daniela, all 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. Jackie, all kindergarten through 3rd graders. And then Darlena Battle, 60617 superstar, covers the high schoolers, 9th through 12th graders, with the 4th Tuesday of the month. So I just wanted to make sure that from that standpoint, you guys knew where we was going when it comes to education. That's where we going, and it's a big deal. All right, we're not gonna take a break because we already took a couple breaks already. Let me say this about our schools, because people do ask me about the schools. We typically, I can take this down so you guys can see me better. When it comes to the schools, we typically don't go to approach the schools. And the reason for that is red tape, bureaucracy, especially in big cities like Atlanta, Chicago. A lot of red tape. I get it. Red tape is protection. It slows down things to make sure that you're not letting anybody in. I get it. But we typically go block by block when it comes to young people. Everybody we meet, we ask you your inventory. Got any kindergartens through 12th graders in the house? If so, what's their favorite subject, worst subject, what their interests are? So we already have a database out of this world when it comes to K through 12th grades. And we're going to keep building that. Every time we meet a person, we're going to do that census so we know what we're working with. So we don't have to go to the school and say, hey, where the kindergartens at? We know where they're at. Of course, we don't know as much as they do. We pay our tax dollars for them to know that and work with them. But this is the Black Do for Self model. All right, so I wanted to put that out there to you guys on the schools. We will work with them, but we don't have to work with them, because what we're doing is trying to reinforce education outside the four walls of the actual school. I just wanted to put that in y'all spirit. We already talked about the awards, who's getting the awards for this month, the grades getting the award. And I always put this pitch out for the teachers. Every profession, unless you're self-taught, goes through teachers, instructors. And so we do not do right by instructors. We do not do right by our teachers. Teachers have a 3-month gap in payment. I get it. Y'all say they better plan better since they know they're going to be out of work. That sounds good. But in this economy, it's hard to do that. So what are we doing to show teachers appreciation other than that 1 day or 1 month? All right. So our philosophy is during the summer months when the teachers are out, all of our professions, especially the ones that have these conventions, trucking convention, nursing convention, landlord convention. How do we work on what we're going to do during the summer months for our teachers to ease the struggle? All right. How do we do that? Whether it's the landlord saying during these 3 months your rent is 50% off, whether it's the auto mechanic saying we're gonna work on your car for 50% off or free. How is it, with the farmer saying we're gonna give you produce 3 months for free? Every profession you figure out. How do we show love to the teachers? Always got to put that out there when we have this education section. Having said that, let's scoot over and have this conversation about our legal and health, not our legal, our hunger and our health status. Every Thursday is health day. Every Thursday is health day. So you got 52 Thursdays a year. What are we doing to be healthier? Well, I think number one, the food intake matters. So I was watching a show, one of the podcasts, YouTube, and they was talking about how during slavery we were operating on 1,200 calories a day while working 18 hours in a hot field, and that for the most part that's one meal, and that's not enough to sustain most people, but because we was forced to do it, it built something metabolically in us, and it was passed down through generations that we can survive off less. I believe it. I drink that Kool-Aid. It tastes good to me. And so what I'm saying is we need to, in the event that there's food shortages, we need to get ourselves out of the habit of feeling like you got to be full, that you got to have 3 meals a day. How do you operate on less? That's not a deprivation mindset. It's a you being in control mindset, not letting the insides control you. You control the insides, and it's just something to put in your spirit to see if you can, fast a little bit more, things of that nature. But in the event that we have hunger issues in our community, I think the number one thing that we need to do is take the inventory. You're gonna always hear me say that. Who are our farmers? Who are our gardeners? Who grow what? We have on the west side of Chicago someone that has too many cucumbers. Cucumbers every doggone where. Well, that's where block by block comes in at. If we know you got cucumbers over here, this person, they're growing the heck out of lettuce. This person here, all right, there's laws on the books, unfortunately, especially in Florida, where they don't want you growing your own food. You got to ask them why. That's on them why they don't want to see us grow food. But I got a feeling that it has to do with, just like insurance, the conspiracy to contain you and force you to support what they have going on. But I believe that the power is always in us. So we need to do the inventory, know what we're working with. Then we could talk about how we can make sure that we're eating in the event that the government does something that they shouldn't do. Okay. Health wise. So talked about health Thursday, but it starts with the intake. What are you putting in your body? And how much movement do you have going on? So we're saying at least once a week, move around differently. Go running, jogging. If you don't one of them gym fanatic type people, do something to invigorate yourself from a health standpoint. Go to the doctor, things of that nature. That health is not just in your physical; it's in your dental health, it's in your mental health, your spiritual health. So just how do you be here longer for the people that depend on you and that love you? That's kind of the mindset that we want to have when it comes to the health. Let me see here. I want to put a slide up, possibly. Yeah, let me put a slide up here. Make sure it's in my phone. So let's do this. I'm gonna post a slide if I have it. So we'll take that 5 minute break. We're gonna we'll come back at 4:30, and then we're gonna then go over the highway, the inventory, things of that nature. But I do want to put this flyer up before we go. I'm hoping it's in my phone. I don't think it's in there, so. All right, it's not in there. So during this break, I'm just gonna let you guys see what the agenda is like today. So there you go. All right, everyone. Your host is back. All right. So we're going to be moving into our policy section. Governor Charles, let's see, is he on? He didn't get on. Okay. Okay, so let's go into detail. Someone's calling again. I got to put do not disturb on here. Give me 1 second to get to do not disturb, you guys, because unfortunately, people realize it's the summit and that all things stop for the summit. The summit is do not disturb time for Cy Smith. Y'all are that important to me that nothing moves from 3 to 5 o'clock on the fourth Sunday. Been like that for 30 years, you guys, and we're going to continue with that. So I want to do this before I go into uh, the next subject. So let me take this down. Let me just brief you on this, then I take it down. So here, this is our system, meaning it's all about timing with this. So let me zoom in so you guys can see what you're looking at. It's the fourth Saturday of the month. So you see BS4 there. It's every Saturday is youth day. So you see youth habit there. At 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6:30, and then at 7 o'clock, there are meetings. That's all over the world, in Africa as well. This tells you one block inside of a 16 block or 20 block radius, just to point you in the right direction of where that meeting is. So 74th and Ridgeland, that was at 10 o'clock. Not that block, but that 16 block radius around 74th and Ridgeland. 86 in Wallace, 12 o'clock. At 70th and Artesian, 2 o'clock, that vicinity there. 66 in Albany, 4 o'clock, that vicinity. 66 in Sealy, coming up in 2 hours. Then 70th and Merle's, 7 o'clock. In Miami, because this is their one day out the month to be on duty too, Coconut Grove today. The white suburb, Hanover Park. All right. The profession is sales and marketing professionals today. Won't be this until again next month on the fourth Saturday. The black suburb is Park Forest and Ford Heights. The African country is behind me, Zambia. We just met a superstar from Zambia in Indiana, and she's going to link us with the family there. So we will be able to do our pennies to Zambia from those linkages. 10 o'clock, Holly Grove, Mississippi. That is 64% black. At 12 o'clock, Bentonia, Mississippi, which is 50% black. At 2 o'clock, Hazelhurst, Mississippi, which is 77% black. At 4 o'clock, DeKalb, Mississippi, which is 75% black. At 6:30, Walnut, Mississippi, which is 18% black. Not a lot of blacks there. Then we got Jackson, Mississippi at 7 o'clock, which is 82% black. So this is today's agenda. The G20 member country that is linked to today and linked to all those connections I just read is China. So today, all the Afro-Chinese is on duty today. So just presented that to you. Let me show you what this looked like on the map. So you can see all those jurisdictions on the map. And here you go. So as you can see here, the code is BS4, blue Saturday, fourth Saturday of the month. You see South Shore, Chicago, Miller and Gary, Jackson, Mississippi, right there. You see Miami, Florida, all that is right there. Then in Brazil, on duty today is this town here, Curitiba, Brazil. In Africa, Zambia. You see the Zambia flag there. Over in China, there you go. All salespersons, marketers all around the world, this is your day. So I just want y'all to see this is the agenda. And every day at midnight, this switches over. This switches over. All right. I want to put something else up to break this down to you guys so you guys can really get this. Okay. All right. The superhighway. I apologize for this. Let me do nurses. It should be salespersons today, but I know I didn't download it, and it'd be too much to take time out to do it now. So we're going to go through nurses, but no, nurses was Wednesday, the third Wednesday. Today is salesperson, so it's the fourth Saturday. But it's the same format. I'm gonna walk you through it. Let me start by directing your attention to the bottom. All the way at the bottom, it says inventory. I can't see the bottom. All right. It says inventory pipeline highway. This is a sub highway. Inventory is the process of getting the information that we need. In this case on here, it was getting the information of the nurses, the children that want to be nurses. Today, getting the inventory of our sales and marketing people. That's today's agenda, being sales and marketing day. Get the inventory done, block by block. Who are the people in sales and marketing? Next to that is as we meet people that's in sales and marketing, or in this case, nurses, let's get them in the pipeline. What do pipelines do? It transverse people, it moves people around. The pipeline is where you have the young people who want to grow up and be that profession. It's where you have the adults in that profession. It's where you have the retirees from that profession. It's where you have the list of the ancestors who were in that profession, who are now the legacy to that profession. So we call that A-Ray, ancestors, retirees, adults, and youth. They're in the pipeline forever. So when we go and do the inventory on the block, they go in the pipeline forever, unless they trade professions. Then they come out of that pipeline and go to a new one. Then you go to the highway. The highway is a one-day interaction, a one-day touch point. I said to one of our leaders, they said, well, once they're in the pipeline, they can talk to themselves. Sure, they can. Unfortunately, they don't, or not enough. So the highway is the day we make sure that we aggregate that, we massage that relationship. We make sure that they're talking to each other when they get on the highway. And so every one of those Zoom meetings or those meetings you saw, we're aggregating, making sure that the people that we did the inventory and have in the pipeline are interacting with each other. And we know that there's a convention outside of this where they can physically get together, because the highway is mainly remote, internet, Zoom, conference calls, etc. So let's look at it now. This here, the alphabets, is the last names of the people. A through E, we only bug them in January and July. That's 6 months apart. F through K, last name nurses, February and August. L through O, last name nurses, March and September. P, Q, and R, last name nurses, April and October. S, T, and U nurses, May and November. And then V through C, last name nurses, June and December. No nurses can be burnt out with us because we only bug you worse than a broken clock, which is twice a year, not even twice in one day. Now let's get to the top part here. All right, the top part, which is hard to show you guys, I want to go through the regions real quick. So these regions apply to every profession and everything that we do. At the top, it says Middle America region, Gary, Chicago, Atlanta. If you're from any one of them places, y'all are a family called the Middle America region. And the support that you get nationwide comes inside your region first. So before Chicago, before an Atlanta person get help outside their region in Detroit or St. Louis, they first get help from Gary and Chicago inside their region first. So from a nursing standpoint, who are the nurses in Gary, nurses in Chicago, nurses in Atlanta? Do they know each other? Are they operating as a support system to each other? That's what the highway allows us to do, is to make sure they meet each other, get to know each other so they can be there for each other. All right. Underneath that, you see the Southwest region, Dallas and Memphis. So the Dallas nurses and the Memphis nurses getting to know each other, talking to each other, to be there for each other. The East region, the biggest region is Boston, Philly, DC, Norfolk, and New York City. The biggest region out of all 7 regions. Same format. Today, Boston, Philly, DC, Norfolk, and New York City salespersons or marketers, because it's the fourth Saturday, the BS4 agenda, which is marketers and salespeople. Then you have the Midwest region, DSM, Detroit, St. Louis, Milwaukee nurses. Do they know each other? Then you have the far South region, Miami, Birmingham, and New Orleans. Again, Miami nurses, Birmingham nurses, New Orleans nurses getting on the highway today, meeting each other. They'll see each other at the annual convention in Gary. All right. West region, LA and San Diego. LA nurses, San Diego nurses. Today get on the highway, or on the third Wednesday, get on the highway. There's a convention. They're good. They'll physically meet each other. Today they're on the highway on Zoom. Upper Central region, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Paul, Minnesota, Cleveland. Again, Kansas City nurses, St. Paul nurses, Cleveland nurses. So that's what the 7 regions that cover Black America is. The subhighway capitulates to the superhighway. The superhighway is the one I manage at 7 o'clock every day, and it brings everybody together, the professions. So today it'll be Afro Chinese on today. It'll be the marketers and salespeople on. It'll be people from Miami, Florida on. It'll be people from South Shore on, from Miller on. It'll be people from Jackson, Mississippi on. The superhighway is when everybody who's on duty today gets on. And I make sure everyone have a section of time so that way they can do their presentation. So that's what you're looking at here is the subhighway, because it's only dealing with nurses. There's a subhighway dealing with just Miami, a subhighway dealing with just Afro-Chinese. The subhighways all have their section, but they all get on the superhighway at 7 o'clock. This is a big deal, you guys. It's not going nowhere. As we get everyone doing their dollar, we'll have literally trained staff to help make sure that this becomes a household name. Okay. Next thing I want to put up, got to watch the time too, because we still got to stick to our agenda here. So next thing I want to put up is the money. All right. So let's put that up. I got to watch the time here. So $1 is the only thing holding us back from this concept working all over America, all over the world. Okay. What we've done here to speed this up is now every single body is asked to get 10 people to send in a dollar. This is the document that we're going to present to you for you to say yes, and then we're going to launch this. So let's read this. It says urgent request notice. This is what you would, with your picture on it, would send to your people and say, listen, it's an urgent request. I only have 1 day to complete it. From November 17th, November 17th, 2 o'clock, it should say the 18th. It's always my fault. November 18th, 2 o'clock. Can Jade Cross French, that's her pretty face right there, can she get 10 people to donate $1 within 1 day? That statement tells you what to do right there. That's your person texting you this. Jade is texting her network of people. Underneath that, it goes into a little explanation. National Block Club University is an anti-violence non-for-profit since 2003. All right. We do not accept grants. We believe in self-funding. That tells you right there who we are, how long we've been around, that we don't accept funding. We believe in do for self-funding, which is why we're asking you for the $1. Your immediate $1 donation coupled together with many others to support the 7 daily living habits. The next question of the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, why, is what the money is for. This helps us to create stable neighborhoods block by block. The 7 daily living habits create stability. Sunday, family day. Monday, safety day. Tuesday, education day. Wednesday, economic day. Thursday, health day. Friday, seniors day. Saturday, youth day. Self-explanatory. So Jade's 10 people. Oh man, Jade, I got you. Let me send it in. Well, where do I send it in? Cash App, use this phone number. 312-405-8844. Using PayPal, www.nationalblockclubuniversity.com, or Zelle. Use that phone number, 312-405-8844. In red, I have it listed down here. Please tell us when you donate who your squad leader is, who asked you to send this in. And by you telling us from Jade person, I'm part of Jade's squad, Jade's team, now we know to give credit to Jade to meet her quota of 10 people and not someone else. So just know this is how we plan on getting literally 100 people to do what Jade did and get 10 people, and that's our 1,000 people. We want to do this in every one of our zip codes, every one of our cities, and that money is going to allow us to fund what we have to do. We have 6,000 people in our database, 6,000 people in our 31 years of existence. And our database is it's over here, it's over there, because during each season of what we do, We made contact with people, but about 15% of those 6,000 people phones are probably disconnected. Hard times. 5% may be transitioned already. 3% is just too upset and angry and frustrated. They don't want to hear from nobody right now. And then probably 2% is dealing with health problems, things that they're not the way they were when we met them 30 years ago. So with that in mind, we had to meet new people. In order to grow, we had to meet new people, which is why we're asking you to be one of those squad leaders and get 10 people to do the dollar. And hopefully we'll find out of your 10, 2 are nurses, get them linked with the nurses, 2 are doctors, linked with the doctors, and so forth. So that's what we hope we're going to be able to get that done with you guys. So last thing, then I'm going to get back to the agenda. We are trying, and we're going to be successful at this, to build in a whole in society around the $1 concept. We're trying to build an entire society around the $1. Please know this, the way the world is set up now, you got people who are descendants of savages who unfortunately are running things. And that same unrepentant DNA was passed down. So you got people out here, 200 billionaires living in California, the most dangerous state for the world, well, for America. And the reason I say it's the most dangerous state is because in that state, they project what our biggest export in the world, which is entertainment. And the entertainment paints Black people as subservient, not as smart, big lips, always eating watermelon chicken. That came from California. That came from people who tell the world how to view us, that have all these immigrants looking at us sideways because of what they projected out there. The same group out there is projecting gangster music, kill you music, destruction of Black people music, and images on videos. From Northern California that controls all of our algorithms to Southern California that controls the music, the videos, award shows, sexual deviance, you name it, it's coming out of California. With that in mind, we had to unplug as Black people. All that stuff, that's their stuff. Let them have that. Let's withdraw. Let's disconnect. Let's not participate. Let's not love all things European so-called luxury. All the Dolce Gabbana, Gucci, Versace. Let them have that. All right. We gotta, if you got a Black person that in apparel, let's support them. Let's make them rich. All right. Let's get our own NFL, NBA. I think personally, Ibrahim Traore and the AES, they should create the NFL, NBA. That way, all of our retired people, castaway NBA, NFL players can go and build up and have 32 Black owners, African owners. That will totally change the world. Because entertainment is America's biggest export. And if we in control of entertainment and it's connected to the continent, and so going back to create a society around $1, this goes into how do we make sure that we really operate the way it used to be, where we bartered with each other, we traded with each other. Rent wasn't so high. We reduced the cost of rent, which is your biggest expense. We growing our own food so we can really be like a village. And we don't need their, what they call luxury. So you're going to have Blacks that are Black elite and Black comfortable who love being around Europeans and follow their model. We're not worried about them. Let them go over there with who they want to be with until they embarrass them. Let's focus on the Black day-to-day, that's us, and the Blacks that's in bad shape, because they're the ones we want to build up. God go judge us by what we do with them. So that's why I'm saying we build a society around $1. There's 46 million of us. We should be a $46 million a year structure. All right. We should be a $46 million a year structure. That's also the 1,000 people doing $1 is really 4,000 business transactions because there's 4 Wednesdays each month. So enough preaching on that. Let's get back to the agenda here. So I left off on the policy and legal from an accountability standpoint. So from a policy standpoint, this is where leveraging government comes in at, not dependent on government, but leveraging. Unfortunately, we too often depend on government, which gives them the power to take us for granted, to tell us the other side is far worse, so you better accept us, even though we letting people who shouldn't even be here in here and giving them resources. We telling you we don't have money to pay you reparations. That policy has to change. If a candidate isn't starting out the conversation asking for Black votes with reparations, we're not trying to hear that. It is spiritually wrong to ignore people who've been done wrong and passed on a legacy of debt and isolation, to ignore them and help somebody else. You just not go find reconciliation nowhere with that. And remember, reparations has three components. First, you got to acknowledge the wrong. You got to tell the truth is acknowledging the wrong. I lied about these creations. I lied about honoring this person. And at the bottom of the honoring, we lied about his contributions. I lied about the textbooks. I lied. That's the first part. The second part is to give back what you took. You can't give and say, I'm for reparations, I'm for forgiving, but I'm still holding on to your stolen stuff. Artifacts, museums, animals in zoos, can't keep holding them saying you sorry. Don't go like that. So you got to give back what was taken. Then the last one is compensation. You got to pay for it. And then the Bible talks about that plus a percentage, because you got to encourage it to not happen again, which is why you pay damages. So those are three parts of reparations that we want to make sure our people know. It's not just one thing. And it's going to happen. The question is, we prefer that the white community don't wait until their numbers are so low to talk about reparations. Do it now. Should have been done it, but do it now so that you can show good faith that you want to see all human beings on a level playing field, and not try to hold on to what you ill-gotten, immorally gotten because it was passed down. So that's a big piece, reparations on the policy side. All these laws, people locked up that shouldn't have been locked up. Mr. Jordan is our leader, leading the reparations movement. We need 5 people that want to support him on the reparations movement in Chicago. I'll link you with Brother Jordan if you want to be connected with him. Let's move over to government report cards. All politicians should have an evaluation. This helps them. I want you to measure me, tell me how I'm performing, how I'm doing. So I think that's healthy to always have accountability. Don't give us this election as the accountability. No, you need, as they say, midterms, you need mid report cards in the middle of your session to let you know how you're doing, and it needs to be documented. So when election time comes, we can pull those documents. So every second Friday of the month is report card day for politicians around the world. We want to get that in your spirit. We have time set aside systematically so we can evaluate and document how they're performing. This will help them in the long run. Let's talk about the laws that's on the books. I personally feel that if we don't, this is where Brother Travis come in with his message, Brother Mark Wallace with the speed light cameras. I think we have to write into policy, into law, that anything that is punitive in terms of financing, fines, fees, that it should not be able to go into the general fund. Let me say that again. We can't incentivize governments creating tools to take more money from you. Okay, so speed light, red light cameras, speeding cameras, these tools that they're putting in on the backs of so-called safety, that money should not be allowed to be used by the government for the general fund. That money should be used for homelessness, winter coat, winter boots, if you're in those regions of the world where it gets cold at, but it just should never be allowed to go into the general fund. If it's allowed to go in the general fund, then it's an incentive to constantly come up with ways to take your money. So we need to fight for that these politicians, if you want our vote, you got to say you will work to dismantle the punitive way that they're using these different vehicles to take money away from us. Voter registration. Our brother Elder Lanyard Smith, he leads Evangelism of Grace, that is always out there dealing with civic engagement. They're doing some wonderful things. We just want to work with them and make certain that all 17-year-olds hear the conversation, that they can register and when they're 17. So as soon as they turn 18, they can start voting. So I won't give you his number. Take my number, 312-405-8844, so that you can get in touch with me, and I'll put you in touch with Elder Lanyard Smith. Also on the legal side, our mock trial this month for all of our young people that want to be lawyers, our retired lawyers. The mock trial this month was about a homeless person and the city, the transit authority trying to sue him because of him being on the train. And so our young people that want to be prosecutors, they run and try to prosecute this brother, this homeless man. Those on the defense will talk about his upbringing and what he been through. He served in the military, things of that nature. So that's the mock trial for all our young people that want to be lawyers out there. You could write your case, film it, let us see it, and you might win some lawyer money. All right. So um, the G20, we are behind on our G20 updates, so I can't give you what's happening around the world update. What I will say is what I caught on the news, and the bottom line is um, it appears that things are calming down in the Middle East. However, what I want to make sure that we know is that's the people who control the media. We know our brothers and sisters in Congo and Sudan are totally being ignored. There's a racial cleansing that's been happening. They call it ethnic, but I want to call it racial because these are non-black people, non-African people taking over Egypt, taking over Sudan, forcing them to move in South Sudan, and now attacking them in South Sudan. The same thing that happened across North Africa. We have people, barbarians, some of the worst people who feel it's okay to kill, rape, maim dark-skinned black people. Your day is coming. Your day is coming for that. And what we want to do, blacks in this country, especially in Chicago, is we want to ask the question to those descendants, those people who are working in our neighborhoods with gas station, corner stores, liquor stores. Where do you stand on what's happening in Sudan, what's happening in Congo? A lot of you with iPhones and these phones, they don't operate without these companies paying warlords to guard their section of Congo to take the titanium out, the cobalt out, take the uranium out. So the world rich billionaires are funding the wars that allow Congo to be in strife for this long. Your day is coming. Money is not all the things you think it is. The control is going away because we have this technology, this ability to meet people where they are. So your time is almost up, and despite everything you've done, especially blacks in America, we create, we innovate, we're resilient, despite not even having our real last name. And everyone that's done us wrong, that continue to look down on us, remember, it's nothing you can do to break us because of the blood that runs through us that our ancestors endured. And that endurance is in us. And all of you who disrespect and disregard black people, we won't forget. I say it that way. So Gary, Indiana is home to all the conventions. You guys heard me talk about that. So next month is our construction conventions, our plumbers, painters, roofers, carpenters convention. So if you're any of them professions, this Monday is y'all duty day. So we'll be talking about literally come December, the weekends in December, we're gonna be having those national conversations. So this is it. It's always the summit, the fourth weekend of the month. However, in December, it's the only month that we don't do it on the fourth weekend in December. And that's because it's Christmas for those who believe in Christ. So we're not doing it. We do it on the third Saturday. So that'll be December 15th, I believe. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know a lot of people are like, man, Si, you talked the whole time. I had about 5 breaks in there, so I didn't talk the whole time. But this is important that you hear from the CEO what has been happening in the last 30 days for all of you who donated your dollar, your $12, $10, $20. We want you to hear directly who's managing the money so you can hear what we've been working on. And I really appreciate being able to come on here and present to you how we use your money to improve our lives locally as well as globally. Shout out to all our people in the continent of Africa as well. Peace.